When it comes to living a life of purpose and meaning, there are certain principles that have stood the test of time. Today, I want to share with you 15 timeless lessons inspired by the wisdom of Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, and my own experiences. These lessons can help you become better at everything you do, no matter what situations life presents us with. These principles are not relics of the past. They are guides leading us toward personal growth and resilience in the modern world. Whether you are well-versed in the pursuit of wisdom or just starting your journey, these lessons will inspire and guide you. So let's embark on this journey together, exploring Seneca's profound teachings through the lens of contemporary life. Life is not about perfection but about continuous progress, and these lessons are the keys to a purposeful and resilient life. Buckle up as we dive into this timeless wisdom. Remember, you have the power to apply these lessons to your daily life. Let's light the way to becoming the best version of ourselves that we seek. 1. Seek challenges. Seneca knew that personal growth doesn't happen within the comfort zone. He believed that facing difficulties and overcoming challenges is one of the best ways to develop because it's in adversity that we show our true strength. The central idea here is that life offers many challenges, and instead of avoiding them or seeking an easy existence, we should embrace them as opportunities to evolve. When a problem arises, it brings with it the chance to test our skills, expand our minds, and break out of our routine. This can manifest in many forms. A new professional project that demands more from you, a difficult relationship situation that challenges your emotions, or even a personal goal, such as improving your health or learning a new skill. Practical example. Think about a challenging situation in your life. It might be a job that required more attention than you expected, or a social situation that was hard to deal with. Instead of allowing yourself to be paralyzed by fear or insecurity, you choose to confront the challenge head-on, learning from it, seeking solutions, and adapting. At the end of the process, you will feel more confident and better prepared to face other obstacles. The key is to see the challenge not as an obstacle but as an opportunity for growth. When you choose to grow instead of hide, you start becoming someone stronger and more capable of handling life. 2. Choose your influences wisely. Seneca's idea about influences is that the people we associate with have a profound impact on who we become. The influences in our lives, whether positive or negative, shape our behavior, beliefs, and ultimately our actions. The impact of the people around you. When you surround yourself with people who are committed to growth, to the pursuit of wisdom, or who have a positive mindset, this tends to rub off on you. These individuals offer valuable advice, challenge your ideas and behaviors, and inspire you to reach your own goals. On the other hand, if you surround yourself with people who have negative attitudes, who constantly complain, or who don't value growth, it can affect your energy and motivation. Practical example. Observe the people you spend most of your time with. Your friends and colleagues have a direct impact on the way you see the world and how you feel about your own abilities. If you're surrounded by people who don't have clear goals or who often devalue effort, you may end up feeling demotivated. But if you associate with people who are committed to excellence, who are constantly learning, and who seek to be the best versions of themselves, it will awaken the same desire in you. Remember, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Choose wisely who accompanies you on your journey, and allow yourself to be positively influenced. 3. Focus on your response. Seneca taught that life is full of events beyond our control, but our response to these events is always in our hands. He believed we cannot control life's circumstances, but we can control how we respond to them. Our response defines our inner peace, our ability to cope with difficulties, and ultimately the quality of our lives. The importance of conscious response. The way you respond to a situation has a huge impact on the outcome. Instead of reacting impulsively, as we often do when we're angry or frustrated, it's important to take a step back and choose a wise, constructive reaction. This doesn't mean ignoring your feelings or being passive, but rather taking a pause to evaluate the situation and decide on the best course of action. The way we handle setbacks often determines our long-term success and well-being. Practical example. Imagine you receive criticism at work or face a setback in your personal life. Your first reaction might be defensive or even aggressive. However, if you stop and reflect, you might realize that the criticism contains something valuable for your growth. Instead of reacting impulsively, you can use that information to improve, learn, and become stronger. The control over your responses, especially when life is challenging, is what separates resilient people from those who are paralyzed by obstacles. Seneca teaches us that by mastering our responses, we can live more balanced and serene lives, regardless of the difficulties. For value the present. Seneca believed that many people waste their lives by focusing too much on the past or the future, forgetting to live in the present moment. He emphasized the importance of making the most of the time we have now because the present is the only moment we can truly control and enjoy. The power of now. Often, we are carried away by nostalgia for the past or anxiety about the future, which prevents us from living fully in the present. Seneca, however, suggested that we should focus our energy on what is right in front of us, for it is in this moment that we can act, learn, and make decisions. He reminds us that time is one of the most precious things we have, and wasting it by either lamenting what is past or fearing what is to come is a way of losing what truly matters. Practical example. Think about a habit you'd like to improve or change, such as eating healthier or managing your time better. Often, the temptation to indulge in momentary pleasures, such as eating unhealthy food or spending more time on social media, can be strong. However, with self-discipline, you are able to prioritize what truly matters for your long-term well-being. By cultivating the ability to resist small desires that divert your focus, you create a clearer path to achieving your greater goals. 6. Accept impermanence. One of Seneca's most powerful lessons is accepting the transient nature of all things. Life is fleeting and everything we have, whether it's love, health, or wealth, is subject to change and loss. Instead of desperately clinging to what we have, he teaches that we should recognize and accept this impermanence, which helps us live with more ease and gratitude. The wisdom of acceptance. Accepting impermanence doesn't mean passively resigning ourselves to circumstances or not caring about what we have. Instead, it's about understanding that life is in constant flux, and that every moment, no matter how precious, is temporary. By embracing life's uncertainty, we can live more fully without the constant fear of loss, and be more grateful for the things we have in the present. Practical example. When you lose something or someone important, pain is inevitable. However, the pain can be softened when you accept that impermanence is part of life's nature. For example, imagine losing a job or a friendship. If you cling rigidly to the idea that things should always be a certain way, it may cause more suffering. But by accepting that people and circumstances change, you allow grief or sadness to become stages in the growth process. This doesn't mean that the loss isn't painful, but that you can face the pain with a more balanced view and not get lost in it. 7. Find serenity amidst chaos. Seneca emphasized that, although the world around us may be chaotic and unpredictable, we can find serenity through self-control and reflection. Stoicism does not tell us to ignore or avoid life's difficulties, but to face challenges with a calm mind, seeing external circumstances as something beyond our control, but not our reactions to them. Inner peace in troubling times. Serenity does not come from the absence of difficulties, but from the ability to remain calm in the face of them. The world is constantly changing and external crises are inevitable, but how we react to them is what determines our inner state. By understanding that we cannot control what happens externally, but we can control how we respond, we cultivate an inner peace that allows us to deal with adversity more effectively. Practical example. Imagine you are in a difficult situation at work with tight deadlines and mounting pressure. Instead of panicking or becoming anxious, you can choose how to react to this stress. With serenity, you can stay focused, think rationally about the best solutions, and act with clarity, rather than being consumed by worry and emotional pressure. The key is not to let external chaos disturb your inner calm, and this is achieved through constant practice of self-control and reflection. Practice gratitude. For Seneca, gratitude was a fundamental virtue that helped cultivate inner peace and happiness. By being grateful for what we have, even in the simplest situations, we can shift our perspective and find contentment, regardless of external circumstances. Gratitude is a powerful way to change our focus from what we lack to what we already possess. Shifting focus. Often we are inclined to focus on what we lack or what we haven't yet achieved. This can create a cycle of dissatisfaction and anxiety. Gratitude, on the other hand, invites us to shift that focus. By appreciating what we already have, our health, our family, our friends, and even the quiet moments, we cultivate a sense of fullness. This helps us realize that happiness is not about accumulating more, but about enjoying what we already possess. Practical example. Every day, take a moment to reflect on the things you are grateful for. It could be something simple like a delicious meal, a good book, or even the opportunity to spend time with loved ones. This practice helps build a more positive mindset, moving away from the constant desire for more and recognizing the abundance of the present. Over time, you will notice that your satisfaction and happiness increase as you begin to appreciate more what you already have. 9. Death is a natural part of life. Seneca often addressed death as an inevitable fact, something we should not fear or ignore. Instead, he suggested that we should regularly reflect on our mortality so that we can live more fully and meaningfully. Death, for him, was a natural part of the cycle of life and not an event to be avoided or feared. Living with the awareness of death. Often, people avoid thinking about death, which leads to an unconscious and wasted life. Seneca believed that by reflecting on the finiteness of our existence, we are able to value the moments we have more. Knowing that time is limited helps us focus on what truly matters, seize the opportunities we have, and free ourselves from unnecessary distractions and worries. Practical example. Instead of living as though life were endless, Seneca advises periodically reflecting on our own mortality. This should not generate fear but motivate a more conscious and purposeful life. Ask yourself, if I knew I had limited time, how would I choose to live my life? This kind of reflection can help you focus more on what is truly important and make choices that align your values with your actions, rather than getting lost in trivialities or unfounded worries. 10. Happiness does not depend on external circumstances. Seneca firmly believed that true happiness did not come from accumulating wealth, gaining power, or achieving social status. For him, happiness was an internal matter depending on our attitude towards circumstances, not external events or conditions. This aligns with the core idea of Stoicism that happiness lies in controlling our own reactions, not in the external world. Independence from circumstances. Often we are led to believe that our happiness depends on external factors. If we get a raise at work, buy our dream house, or gain more social recognition. However, Seneca argues that these external sources of satisfaction are temporary and often fail to provide lasting happiness. True happiness comes from within, from a well-trained mind that knows how to handle life's ups and downs in a balanced way. Practical example. Imagine you missed an important opportunity at work or faced a personal disappointment. Instead of being dominated by frustration or thinking that happiness will only come with its second chance, you can find balance. Learn from the situation and accept that, regardless of what happens, your happiness lies within you. The key is to control your perception of what happens around you, and not let external factors define how you feel. 11. Self-control is the key to freedom. For Seneca, true freedom is not about doing whatever we want at any given moment, but about being free from the tyranny of our own desires and impulses. Self-control is essential to this freedom, as it allows us to act according to our reason, rather than being dominated by fleeting emotions and desires that pull us away from our true purpose in life. Self-discipline and inner freedom. Many people confuse freedom with the ability to do whatever they want without restrictions. However, the true concept of freedom, according to Seneca, is freedom from the slavery of our own irrational and impulsive desires. When we can control our emotions and act with wisdom and discipline, we are truly free to live according to our principles, without being dominated by the pursuit of momentary pleasures or external pressures. Practical example. If you have the desire to consume something that is not good for your health, such as eating something high in calories or spending money on something unnecessary, self-control allows you to distance yourself from that temptation. By resisting these impulses, you not only make a more rational decision but also free yourself from the influence of these desires, allowing you to live in a way that is healthier and more aligned with your values. 12. Wisdom lies in living according to nature. Seneca believed that wisdom lies in living according to human nature and the natural order of the universe. This means accepting the laws of nature, the limitations of human life, and the inevitabilities of existence such as death and suffering. Living according to nature is living simply and balanced, respecting what is essential and not being carried away by excesses or unnecessary desires. Harmony with nature. For the Stoic philosopher, wisdom comes from accepting reality as it is. As part of the universe, the human being should seek a simple life, not fighting against the natural laws of existence, but accepting them with grace and wisdom. This means living with humility, without desiring more than what is necessary for a good and balanced life. Wisdom consists of knowing what truly matters and focusing our energy on what is essential, rather than getting lost in superficial and unsustainable desires. Practical example. Imagine you are feeling overwhelmed by the demands of modern life, work, family responsibilities, and the desire to please others. Applying the principle of living according to nature means simplifying your life, focusing on what truly matters, and seeking a balance that respects your natural needs for rest, healthy food, and time for yourself. This also involves accepting human limitations and understanding that we cannot control everything, but we can live in harmony with what is necessary for a full and wise life. The practice of gratitude is essential for serenity. Seneca valued the practice of gratitude as a fundamental means of achieving serenity and inner peace. Gratitude helps transform our perception of the world around us, allowing us to focus on what is positive and valuable, instead of fixating on what is missing or what is not going as desired. For him, cultivating a constant sense of gratitude strengthened the mind against envy and resentment, which are sources of unnecessary suffering. Gratitude as a daily practice. Gratitude is not just a fleeting feeling but a continuous practice. This means taking time to reflect on the blessings in our lives, whether big or small, and recognizing that, despite difficulties, there is always something to be thankful for. Gratitude changes the way we see the world, making us realize that many of our concerns and frustrations come from an excessively focused view on what we still desire or the deficiencies we feel. Practical example. Before going to sleep, Seneca suggested that we reflect on our day, taking a moment to give thanks for all the good things that happened. Even on difficult days, instead of focusing on failures or things that didn't go as expected, we can be thankful for the opportunity to learn from those experiences. This doesn't mean ignoring difficulties, but rather transforming them into opportunities for personal growth. Time is our most precious asset. Seneca emphasized that time is the most valuable and limited resource we have, and that most people waste it imprudently, unaware that it can never be regained. For him, wisdom lay in making the best use of our time, focusing on activities that truly contribute to our well-being and development, rather than losing ourselves in distractions and fleeting pleasures. The value of time and the urgency to use it well. Throughout his life, Seneca observed how many spent their days on activities that held no real meaning, such as chasing wealth, social status, or immediate pleasure, while time slipped through their fingers. He wrote that those who ignore the value of time live as though they were immortal, but in reality, every second is a unique, unrepeatable gift. Therefore, it is essential to use our time wisely, investing it in activities that truly bring us closer to the life we wish to live. Practical example. Instead of getting lost in endless hours on social media or focusing excessively on trivial concerns, we can practice a daily evaluation of how we use our time. Ask yourself, am I using this moment for something that truly adds value, or am I just filling a void? By prioritizing what is most meaningful, we can ensure that we are investing our time in a wiser and more productive way. Death is not something to fear. For Seneca, death was an inevitable part of life, and rather than fearing it, we should accept it with serenity and without fear. Stoicism teaches that death is a natural consequence of existence and is not something we should fear, but rather a motivation to live more fully and with more purpose. True freedom, according to Seneca, is living in such a way that we are not afraid of the end of life because we live fully while it lasts. Death as a reminder for a full life. Instead of being paralyzed or saddened by the inevitability of death, Seneca suggested that we think of it as a reminder that we must make the most of each moment of our lives. If we understand that our time is limited and that death could come at any moment, this can motivate us to live more intentionally, seek what truly matters, and let go of trivial concerns. Death should not be seen as something to avoid, but as a natural and even liberating part of the human journey. Practical example. When you are faced with a difficult situation or a fear of the future, try reflecting on death as something inevitable. Ask yourself, what can I do to live more fully now? This can help put everyday concerns into perspective and ease the fear of what is to come. Instead of living in constant anxiety about the future, we can seek the tranquility that comes from living with courage, without letting the fear of death prevent us from doing what is truly important. As we have seen, Seneca's teachings offer powerful tools to live more fully, serenely, and focused on what truly matters. By cultivating gratitude, making the best use of our time, and accepting death as a natural part of life, we can achieve lasting inner peace and live with more purpose. What about you? Have you been practicing any of these principles in your life? How about starting to apply one of them today and sharing with us how this journey has been? If you enjoyed the video and want more content on how Stoic philosophy can transform your life, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell so you don't miss any updates. Let's go together on this quest for wisdom and balance. See you in the next video.